You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high, cause St. Louis is ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live, somebody. Let's go.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys are all doing well out there. Hope this show finds you in good spirits, as it should. Man, good morning, good morning, good morning. Man, the news just keep on newsing, and there's a lot of stuff. Like I said, there's so much stuff going on, and there's some things that are starting to peek its head now, even though we've talked about this in the past. Don't worry, I'll explain in just a minute. But it is very interesting nonetheless that things are all starting to come out. More and more stuff. And it's still a question of, is this true? Is this not true? I got questions. But I also will say that this is something that's been going on for a while now. This particular conversation that we're about to talk about has been going on for a minute. So for those of y'all who are not savvy to this, we're going to talk about it. But I've already talked about this before. I'll explain everything here in a second. Please do me a favor. All right. Hit that like button down below. Crush that reaction button if you're watching on other platforms. All right. Make sure you get those likes all the way up. That helps the show. Please and thank you. Hit that heart emoji. Got some roses up there if you're watching on the TikTok. Please and thank you. Also, don't forget, if you're watching on those other platforms, it's weird, lint flying all over the place. Also, if you are watching on other platforms, please hit that follow button, okay? So follow me on Facebook, X/Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble. Hit that follow button on all those platforms. Do not forget to subscribe here on my main channel if you're watching on the YouTubes. Crush that subscribe button over here. Go over to my secondary channel, the Pascal Show Clips. That's important. It's going to come back to play here in just a minute. So make sure you subscribe to the secondary channel, okay? Good morning to everybody. Come on in. Get that sleep out your eye while we are talking about this, because this is some new stuff, but not really. Make sure you subscribe to the secondary channel, the Pascal Show Clips. Make sure that notification bell is set to all so you know whenever I go live, whenever I upload, because it is random, and also because we've already talked about this before, sweethearts. Yes, but now it's become more mainstream. So we're going to talk about that. Subscribe. Hit that join button down below. Become a member. Check out my Patreon. I got Patreon and I got locals if you want to support any further. Also, check out PascalMerch.com. Got some really great merch, really great custom tie-dye hoodies, t-shirts, and then some, a bunch of other things, graphic tees. We got some holiday graphic tees and sweaters out right now as we speak over there. So go check it out if you want to have something funny, a little cheeky for the holiday. Please go check that out. And of course, pinned at the top of the chat, thanks to one of our mods, Debbie, for putting it up here. But I pinned it to the top of the chat over there. I got a GoFundMe for a holiday special that I'm putting together right now. So go check that out. All right, a little goes a long way. Okay, guys, we got to get into this, okay? Because there's a little bit that we got to go through. There's a few things that we got to look at. And the reason why I say we've already talked about this before is because I've already discussed this to a certain extent at great lengths on the secondary channel, on the Pascal Show Clips. This is the reason why you need to make sure you are subscribed to both channels, because there are topics, there are things that I'm covering over there. In fact, there's some other videos that I'm going to be covering over there that I probably won't be covering on this main channel unless it's a rare situation like what we're looking at here, where it gets thrust into the mainstream media. Okay. But I've already talked about this, and I did my due diligence. I did my, went back and did everything I could when it came to that particular video 3 whole weeks ago, guys. Let me just say that again. 3 whole weeks ago, I put out that video. talking about this particular witness saying that they've seen some things, especially littles, at a freak off. Yes, we've already talked about this. But there's a few things that are very interesting about this particular interview and this particular article that we're going to be looking at here in just a second. That I'm like, that's a little different. It's minor things, but at the same time, it's like it makes you wonder. Long story short, it makes you wonder. Sorry, but we live in a world where. And I'm an inquisitive mother lover, so I ask a lot of questions, but there's some things that just seem a little bit odd to me, which we are going to talk about here in just a minute, okay? But again, don't forget to hit that like button down below. Don't forget to subscribe. We are this close, literally so freaking close to 150K. We are so close. I can taste it. I can't taste numbers, honestly. It's just zeros and ones, to be honest, but you understand the expression. I can taste it. So please don't forget to hit that subscribe button while you guys come on in here. Real quick. Stacey, I think you're re-upping, right? I think you're renewing your membership, but thank you so much for renewing your membership. Welcome back to the family. And just like Stacey, guys, think about becoming a member. Hit that join button down below, all right? And of course, check out that GoFundMe. If you can, no pressure. If not, I understand. But here's the thing. Let me get this one too real quick. Deborah, thank you so much. Hello, Pascal. It's my first live and in person from the UK. Hopefully everything's good. Hopefully it's not too rainy or cold over there across the pond. Thank you so much for the support. I wish the feds would just get on with it and arrest people. See, I agree with that 110%, Deborah, because there's so many people that are involved in this situation. It's more than just one person. It's more than just Diddy. And I know we've talked about that ad nauseum. I mean, I think we can all agree on that. We've talked about that ad nauseum. At some point, somebody else has got to go down. At some point, somebody else has got to go down. This is very frustrating because we hear all these people stepping forward saying they saw this, they saw that, they saw a gaggle of girls, or a gaggle of, pros going into these freak offs, some mans and all this stuff. We hear all these different stories, and yet we have yet to hear about anyone getting arrested. And no, not J-Lo. Honestly, we need to I don't think J-Lo has anything to do with moving bodies, with moving people across state lines. Nah, I don't think she has anything to do with that. Now, was she involved? Did she see certain things? Was she witness to certain crimes? I don't know. But as far as doing evil things like moving people around, I don't think she has anything to do with that. But I do find it very odd that she would not know. If you are cuddled up with somebody, how would you not know? But then at the same time, we hear stories about unalivers, serial monsters out here that are hiding in plain sight, even to their wives or to their loved ones. And their loved ones going, I had no idea that my husband or wife had that kind of, need, those crazy and demonic ideations in their heads, right? So, I mean, anything's possible. But at the same time, when I look at J-Lo, I think there's a lot that is going on with her. But do I think she was moving bodies? No. Do I think that she allowed things to happen? Yeah. But she's not the only one, though. Remember, there's plenty of other names and there's plenty of other people that we are still waiting for anything. Again, too, Hollywood, and people have been saying this quite a lot, too. Hollywood has not said a damn thing, y'all. People are not coming out and saying it. You got Tyrese coming out. Sweet lady, won't you be mine? You got Tyrese coming out here saying, no, I wasn't in no videos, man. So you think I was in a freak off video? You got it all wrong. Okay, fine. That's one person. That is one person that has come out and said something. And the only reason why he said anything is because people were saying his name out here and saying, you were in these freak off parties. You were in these videos. So of course he hopped on his Instagram and said, that is what in tarnation? The hell's wrong with everybody? That's wrong, kind of thing, right? And then he proceeded to cry. I'm kidding. He didn't cry. But he's a very emotional man. But if you notice, all the other people, we have not heard anything from anybody. And yes, Debbie, I agree. Their quiet is very, very loud. It's deafening, actually. The silence is deafening, that we haven't heard anything from anybody. No one has stepped forward and said, I condemn. And I'm not talking about because there's been some interviews with Kristen Chenoweth and stuff. No, I ain't talking about her. With all due respect, no. Good actress. Do your thing, girl. Not talking about her. I'm talking about the people that are connected, that all their names are getting thrown out here. We've been hearing the Ashton Kutchers and the Biebers and the Ushers we've been hearing all those names, but have we heard anything from them yet? Have they stepped forward and said, hey, at least step forward and say, these allegations are wild, they're heartbreaking, but we still don't know everything yet. I'm waiting for justice to do its thing. It's actually, correction, there is one person that did say something, Busta Rhymes. So do the Busta Rhymes approach. He did exactly that, which there's allegations on him too. There's rumors floating around about him as well, and him possibly being involved in these freak offs as well. But he said something, and it was very much like, hey, I'm going to let the law do its thing. Let the courts do its thing before we, go off on spin off into speculation world and start wearing our tinfoil hats. He didn't say it exactly like that, but he did say, hey, let's just let them do what they need to do. I don't think there's anything wrong with saying something like that. But no one has heard anything really from anyone that was deeply or that has been named a lot in connection to all of this. It's crazy. It's definitely crazy. So, again, the fact that Hollywood has not said anything so far, it's damning in my personal opinion. But there are people that have been speaking out. Now, we're going to talk about frequent, like the most recent thing here that I'm going to show you guys on the screen. And then we're going to take a trip down memory lane. Okay, so a little doodle-doo, doodle-doo. Okay, that's very old school, but you know what I mean. So first things first, there is a party goer, or she's a witness, but she was a party guest at one of Diddy's parties. Now, would I say she was a party guest? I mean, yeah, she was. I think everybody was a guest at the party for the most part, but was she there because she just wanted to, or was she there because she was paid to? We're going to talk about that here in a second too. Because there's certain things. See, this is what frustrates me, because the titles change, if that makes any sense. And if you do a little bit of you just look back at some, whenever somebody is speaking out like this, and they've already have a trove of videos speaking out about this. That's what I mean by she has a history of talking about this. She ain't talking like this. She doesn't refer to herself as this. So instantly, for me, it's like, oh. I'll explain here in a second. I know that sounds really messed up and jacked up. Give me a second. Let me cook. I'll get into it. But let's get into this article first. And then, of course, I'm going to play the audio of what she says to TMZ. So shout out to TMZ for bringing her out here to the forefront, because she was on another show, another channel, big channel, Soft White Underbelly. I'll say it now, where she's done a bunch of interviews with them. Now, if you don't know what Soft White Underbelly is a channel where they interview a lot of people from, a lot of pimps, a lot of S workers, so on and so forth. Okay. A lot of people that dealing with addictions, so on and so forth. The channel is known to be fairly controversial due to the types of people that they bring onto the show, meaning littles, so on and so forth. So he's been getting the creator of that channel has been getting a lot of flack for a various amount of different things. One of them is, you have littles on video on your shows, like barely wearing anything, stuff like that. So he's been getting a lot of flack for that. But he's still making videos. Millions and millions of followers on that channel. In fact, this witness's daughter has been on that show as well. She is a little, and she's barely wearing anything. And if I was any parent, she and I would have words. That's how bad the clothing is, in my personal opinion. We'll talk about that in a little bit too. But she went on to the show, okay, to YouTube, and she's been on this YouTube channel, I'm sorry, and she's been saying things for a while. Like I said, she's been saying things about Diddy. So her story about Diddy has not changed. It has not. So we are going to be looking at that, like taking a trip down memory lane on that. But in this particular article, she says basically the same things that she was saying in these videos. And like I said, she says she sees littles. She says little people that are not supposed to be at the party, dressed in a certain way, that type of thing. Dressed in ways that should not be dressed in that particular way. You feel me? And also, they should not be there, period. Now, if I got her name correctly, this young woman's name is Tanea Wallace. Excuse me. Which, let me see. Pull up her photo here. Right. Yeah. So here she is. And during her interview on TMZ. Now, she has different things on her show. She has different looks you're going to see in a little bit. She's done like I said, she's done other interviews. She's been on Soft White Underbelly talking about certain things for a long, long time, like I said. And I highly recommend you guys going and checking out those interviews when this show is over, because we are going to be looking at clips from those particular interviews. Some from years ago, some from just a few months ago that have gone viral. And this is the reason why TMZ saw this, caught their attention, and they are starting to ask her the same doggone questions. So let's get into this. But she's claiming to see littles at these freak-offs. So a woman who says that she was at what she believes was a Diddy freak-off says there were littles present. Littles surrounded by biggies. You know what I mean? Anyway, adults. So Tanea Wallace, an aspiring singer-songwriter, that's not what she says later. I mean, that's not what she said years ago. It's not what she says a few months ago. So to me, I look at this whole thing of like, now she's a singer-songwriter. Is this an opportunity to just promote herself? I mean, but that's just me though. You know, you got to remember there's a lot of people out here that are going to do as much as they can to see if they can get an opportunity to scoop a bag, to grab a bag, right? To make a milli. Well, not a milli, but you know, maybe make a milli, maybe make a couple $100,000 at least. But that's not how she presented herself back then. I'll explain here in a little bit. So she says now she's an aspiring singer-songwriter. And I will say this too. She does say in the interviews that she had hopes of getting picked up by Diddy, by presenting herself as a singer, you know, getting an opportunity to maybe sing a few songs or a song for Diddy, and maybe she could get discovered at these parties. She does say that. So it isn't a far-fetched thing, but it is interesting that that's what she says right here. When she was invited to the party, specifically because she's got a certain set of skills, if you get what I'm saying. She's an S worker. That's why she was there. Not because she was an aspiring singer-songwriter. But moving on. She says she was invited to Diddy's party by a Saudi prince who flew her from LA to Miami. Again, that particular Saudi prince, and if she was or is an S worker or was an S worker at that time, he could be in trouble for STing as well. Just saying. Now, she spoke with TMZ as part of their new documentary, the TMZ, the downfall of Diddy, Inside the Freak-Offs. So Tanea describes in vivid detail how she observed clusters of people doing the thing, doing the carnal thing, many of whom seemed like they were on substances or they were on alcohol. Mind you, she says this was at 7 a.m. Tanea says the party had been going on all night. The most alarming part of her story, she saw quote unquote little people dressed up like Harajuku Barbies. When pressed, she made it clear these were littles. I can't use these words. You know what you can see right there. They were littles who were being obscured by a wall of adults. So in other words, there were people looking and were watching them or whatever. She did not see the adults and littles, what they were doing, but she was clearly alarmed. So she's part of the third installment of this docuseries, so on and so forth. Okay. Now, again, for anyone to come forward and say something like this, I mean, it's some very damning stuff. Okay. And, you know, it's a very specific look, the Harajuku girls type thing. I mean, wasn't it? Instantly, I think of Gwen Stefani. Didn't Gwen Stefani have something like that in one of her music videos, or it was like mentioned in a song? I think it was a Gwen Stefani song, a popular Gwen Stefani song. I just don't remember what it was. Was it Bananas? I don't remember. But anyway, it's a specific look and can be there to, and it's a look that can be a thing to satiate somebody's carnal appetites. Does that make sense? So you're telling me that there were littles dressed up in this way. And this is what Tanea is saying. So let us take a listen to this. Like I said, I'm not going to play, but you can see there, this is the interview. I'm just playing the audio, guys. All right. And hear what she's got to say about all of this. Let's take a listen.
Wallace. I'm a singer-songwriter, and I was at one of I believe to be one of P. Diddy's freak-offs. 2018, I went to this freak-off. I looked to the right of me, and in the corner, I'm looking like, are those midgets? Because people were it's people over them. Like, it's people trying to hide what they're doing. They're all huddled up. So I'm like, what is that? But no, they weren't. They were little people.
So she said, so it is the Bananas song, right? Yeah, it is that Bananas. B-A-N-A, whatever the hell song. I can spell. It's too early. Haven't slept much, but you know what I mean, okay? This ish is Bananas. B-A-N-A-N-A-S. That song. Yeah. And she talks about it. And I think some of the girls are dressed in that kind of way too. Just so you know, okay? But at the same time, she's sitting here saying, I'm seeing over here in the corner a bunch of people. And then she's like, oh, are these little people? Meaning, because I'm not using the M word, okay, to be respectful. But she's like, are those a bunch of little people? But then she starts to look and she starts to realize, oh, damn, no. Oh, they're little people.
And, I don't want to say too much. They were little people. So use your common sense. Dressed up like little Harajuku Barbies, red lipstick, looking like real sexy, revealing like cute. So I'm like, what the hell?
What were the little people doing?
Getting covered up, trying to cover up what they were doing. Just, I don't know, like being admired, being hid, something.
It's weird.
But it's like, what are they doing here? Because this is a grown party.
Are you talking about adults who are little people, or are you talking about minors?
First off, let me just say this too. I forgot his name, but the face of TMZ, I forgot his name right now. It escapes me, but it's funny because he's a lawyer, so he's very lawyerish when he's like, so when you say that it was little people, are you saying that they were little people, or were they the M word? Just say it. That's literally what it's doing. Harvey, thank you. Harvey basically like, no. Can you get into real detail? Because you could sit here all day and say little. No. I need you to say it out your damn mouth. I need you to say it out your freaking mouth. Now it's time for you to fill in the blanks. Those group of people were. So let's hear what she has to say.
Am I going to get in trouble? I don't want to say I witnessed any of that crazy stuff, but we all have common sense. Little people. It's not supposed to be there.
You're talking about underage people.
Then he goes, I got to push back again. So you mean to tell me little people be little people? It's like, is she really going to answer it or no? But this is the part I have to show you. It's a few seconds. It's just the look on her face. And it says it all. Blink twice if you're in trouble. You know what I'm saying? She's like, no answer whatsoever, but she answered it. She didn't answer it, but she answered it. You see what I'm saying? She didn't answer it, but she answered it. So moving on. That is the interview that apparently, or that's a snippet from the interview that's going to be coming out on TMZ, on Tubi, because their series is on Tubi right now, and the series is actually really, really good. I'm not knocking anything. I'm just being silly for comedy's sake, for entertainment's sake. No, TMZ has been doing their damn job covering this whole thing and many other things as well. But it is interesting that she's here, on TMZ talking about this. It's pretty crazy. All right. Now, the reason why I say that it's interesting is because it took years Now, I get it that not everybody's going to automatically just run to a particular person that just says, "Oh yeah, I saw Diddy sneeze at an art gallery." Not everybody's going to run and go, "Oh, you saw Diddy sneeze?" You know what I mean? So I get it that there's going to be a lot of things that people are saying that aren't going to get the looks until the time is right. Now, one of those things I mean is, well, hold on. Tanea was on a show like I was telling you guys about before, called the Soft White Underbelly. Now, in this particular show, you're going to see her, and she looks completely different from what she looks like here. Take a look at this. Boom. This was years ago. This is the same woman, same Tanea, just a different year. Now, in this particular interview, she goes into details about a Diddy party also being moved around by a Saudi prince. Same thing that she says, being moved and like, oh, didn't know that she was going to be like stuck in this house, allegedly Diddy's house on Star Island. You hear a bunch of this information in this one here. She sprinkles a little bit more information about other parts of these parties, but other parts of this freak off. But there's another piece that she just did a few months ago that really set everything off. But this definitely sparked a lot of interest because she was saying this years ago. Like I said, she's been saying this for a minute. And now everybody's starting to listen. Now TMZ is bringing her in to the conversation as far as the freak off, the details revolving around these freak offs. So let's take a look at this. Like I said, I've already done a whole deep dive into these videos. It's on my secondary channel. I'll make sure that I put the link in the description box if you want to watch these more of these. But I also say definitely go over to Soft White Underbelly. This is where all this information is. This is where the interviews are. She is not presenting herself as a singer-songwriter in this. She is presenting herself as an S worker. So that's what I mean by, like, why go out here, say that you are a singer-songwriter when you were at that party for a very specific reason. Okay? You were there for a very specific reason, not just writing songs. You were being moved. You were being ST'd, and you came to that party for a very specific role. And she does say later on in the second interview that she was able to leave. Like, she left before anything really started getting crazy. But the stuff was already crazy, but you know what I mean? Before they tried to involve her in anything. So she was lucky with that. But at the same time, she was there for a specific reason. She just left because she wasn't cool with all the stuff that she was seeing. So let's take a look at this. Okay. I sped up the speed. So it just is what it is. I sped up the speed. So let's take a listen. Oh, snap. Sorry, guys. Let me roll that back. Whoops.
The reasons why or what really happens, they don't know because they wasn't there. And that would affect me emotionally. But I got myself into a situation where I was about to get sex trafficked. And this was like 3 years ago. And I was just like, it was a close one. You know, I came up on this prince, and he was Arabian, and he flew me to Miami, and he said I was going to be there for 2 weeks. We were in a $30 million house, and I ended up being there for a month, and I had to escape. Okay. And we were meeting so many girls, and girls from Love and Hip Hop was coming in the house, and celebrities was there and all of this stuff. But it started to get real weird. You know, it was a lot of drugs. And like, I don't do hard drugs like that. Like I was smoking weed, you know, and they were doing hard drugs and stuff. And it was just like, it was getting, like my gut was telling me something bad is about to happen.
So a bunch of girls, including herself, got brought into this whole thing. Brought out from various areas. She came out from LA, if I'm correct. She came from LA to Miami for this Saudi prince. Also, remember, she says that she was ST'd, that she was moved. So it wasn't just a simple like, hey, you know, you got some real talent. I love the way you sing. I like your look and you're a great songwriter. Why don't we fly you out to Miami and meet Diddy and, you know, come be a part of this party and be a part of this, you know, and have some fun with us? No. Because if that was the case, then she would have said, yeah, I went out to Miami because I had an opportunity to meet the diddler for my writing and my singing skills. That's not at all what happened. She just said verbatim that she was ST'd. The only other reason why she would be ST'd is because she is a professional. That's it. She talks about it more. Don't worry. But see, that's what I mean by, I'm like, ugh, why does she have to say that? She could have, why say, you know what I mean? Like, okay, I'm a pro, or I was, you know, I was brought in to provide entertainment or whatever. But she goes, oh no, I'm a singer-songwriter. Okay, are you saying that because it's TMZ and it's an opportunity to promote your work? You see what I'm saying? I don't know. That kind of stuff just makes me feel some type of way, because it suddenly goes like, especially if you're looking at these videos and you know about these interviews, and then you see that interview, you're like, come on, man. Come on, man. Because it almost it instantly gives people room to speculate, room to sit there and go, oh, she could be lying. Oh, now it's an opportunity for clout. And that's what's frustrating, because I do believe what she believes she saw. I do believe that. So it's like, you see what I'm saying? It just instantly gives room it gives question of the legitimacy of everything. That's my problem. If you were ST'd, then you are on TMZ saying, yes, I was ST'd. I was a pro at that time. I was brought in for this, so on and so forth. Bingo, bango. Be done with it. You're on these YouTube channels. These videos alone have millions of views. So what difference does it make? You see what I'm saying? It's about staying consistent with your story. And I know it's little things, but everybody out here going to sit there and nitpick that one thing for sure. Oh no, now she's just trying to clout chase. Oh, clearly she's trying to clout chase because now she's a singer-songwriter, when that's not what she was in the very beginning when she was doing these interviews. You see what I'm saying? It's frustrating. Just like the same thing that we talked about yesterday when Adria English is on that interview, which was a great interview. You know, good job with Lionel B and the Lionel B show. But she's sitting there going, "Yeah, you know, I smoke trees and I drink," and she's literally drinking and smoking trees on the doggone show. I mean, you know, and then everyone's like, "Oh, she seems a little off," and she's smoking trees and she's drinking wine on the show. You see what I'm saying? And it's like every person, we should not give any person any room. Should not give any person any room for speculation nowadays. Because it's very easy for everyone to go, there it is. I see. Oh, that's a lie. And so on. It's just frustrating, guys. You know, and every person has to be on their P's and Q's. They really do. But let's continue on though.
But he was trying to like distract us with buying us stuff. We was going shopping and doing all these things. And for some reason, I felt like I'm used to getting shit. But like this right here, where am I about to be tomorrow? And why are we still here? So then he says, well, we're going to go to Cuba. So the girls start talking in the house and they're like,
Cuba.
Girl, I got to get back home. And he said that I can't leave. And I'm like, well, what is he going to do with us? Then, you know, I went to some celebrity's house and we ended up at P. Diddy's house. And I just started hearing conversations and I just got sex trafficking from it because, you know, I heard the prince saying something like, oh, you can have whoever you want. Like he was like selling us, you know? So I'm like, is this sex trafficking? Like, what the? And it gave me a whole nother outlook on everything too. And I had to like really like pump my brakes on how I do things. And maybe because a week before that, I had just said like, I want to be in Miami. I want to be around royalty. I want a nigga to spend this much amount. And I realized everything that I said that I wanted, it came like the next week, but it didn't come how I wanted it to. And I don't like nobody saying I can't leave, you know, when I
be careful what you wish for, sounds like, right?
I want to, like, if I got to get back to LA, handle some business. I'm a mother. Like, what you mean I can't leave? So
you have kids?
Yeah. Yes.
How many kids?
5 kids.
You have 5 kids?
Yes.
So you need.
And one of the kids ends up being on his show. That's also in this profession as well. Again, like I said, her own daughter's in the same profession. One of her daughters is in the same profession. I think her name is Nova. And again, like I said, you got to be careful what you're saying before and then what you say later. You see what I'm saying? Especially when you're accusing or saying that you're a witness to something. That's all.
I need to take care of them. Are you raising your kids?
Oh, yeah. I'm raising my kids. They're all with me. But at a point in time, I'm going to keep it real. They wasn't. You know what I'm saying? They are now. They wasn't. It was always at my grandma's house, at my mom's house, because I had shit to do. And I was in the music, you know. I was singing with YG at that time. And I had been for like a long time. But in and out of that, the music wasn't paying. So I really had to finesse. And I would be meeting like people in the industry and I'll be finessing them too, you know. But I made sure with them, we would have like relations, but I wouldn't like have sex with them because I didn't want it like coming up like, oh, you fucked that producer or oh, you did that, right? So I was real low key, but they understood like, you know, you got mouths to feed. But at the end of the day, I've been through so much and I always think like, why do I do this shit? Like, you know, I self-reflect with myself. Like when I'm got my downtime and I'm looking at my kids and I'm like, what would I be doing?
Okay. So there's that part. Okay. There's that piece. And of course, if you can't understand it, then maybe you just slow down my video or something like that. I don't know. But I will explain as best as I can. So she does say that she worked with YG. She had, you know, she sings, but what she really does is she's out here. Okay. So she goes and she's working. She even says she finesses people. She's finessing. She's out there hustling. I understand. I get it. But at the same time, she was out there because she's an S worker. The singing thing was not working out, unfortunately. That's basically it. So there's that one. Talking about this, that particular person, this Saudi prince taking her out and doing all that stuff. Now, of course, we have more. So I want to play the next piece for you.
In a world where algorithms and financial incentives dictate the information.
Hold on. That's not the part that I want to get to. She goes straight into the conversation about these F-offs, okay? And the thing is I got to speed up the doggone thing again. But again, she gets into more detail. This is a more recent one. Now she looks a lot more familiar, right? Because this is her on TMZ just recently. Same hairdo, so on, right? And this is her just a few months ago. Like this wasn't very long ago. All right. And still, she says a lot here, guys. So hold on to your butts. She goes into a lot more details. So let's rock and freaking roll.
Was a prince for real. But I wasn't worried about him being a prince. I was worried about who he actually knew. So when he invited me to, he met me, he said, I want to invite you tomorrow to Music Ultra Week, whatever. And it's like an event, Ultra Music Week. It's like an event for like 2 weeks where people party, including P. Diddy. And they party at Club Live. They party at like just in South Beach, Star Island, like where P. Diddy stays or throw his freak offs at. And I never knew that we were going to go there because I was there for 2 weeks and I knew it was something fishy. He kept saying, I got a surprise for you. I got a surprise for you. I'm like, but I'm only supposed to stay for 2 weeks and I'm here longer than 2 weeks. And it was almost a month. It was basically a month by then. And he was like, no, because I just want you to meet one special person. So he ended up telling me, like, when we went to Club Live, he was like, guess where we're going tonight? I'm like, where? He's like, to P. Diddy's house. I'm like, oh, really? I'm like, that's crazy because I hear a lot about P. Diddy. And I'm like, his house for what? Like to go sing? He's like, no, he's throwing this wild party. I'm like, oh, okay. So we went from Club Live. It ended at like, the clubs ended at like 3 or 4, not 2, like how out here is. So we waited around the mansion, the Prince's mansion, for about an hour. And then as soon as 6:30 hit, we all got in the car, like a big Uber, and me and all the other girls. Now, mind you, I'm the only black girl. So I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm about to meet P. Diddy. Oh, like, I'm probably going to have to sing for him. Da, da, da. And I just tried to, like, keep my composure. So we get there, and that's when stuff got weird. And that's why they lock up our phones, because they know what we see in there, it's he can get in trouble, like, right now. So.
Okay. So first off, this is sped up, just so you guys know. I have to speed it up because there's a lot that she says here, and I'm trying to get through as much as I can as quickly as possible. Okay, but she is saying that she was brought in by this Saudi prince. She thought, she was thinking maybe it was an opportunity to be out there to meet Diddy, to maybe perform, audition for him. Maybe she can get a gig through Diddy. He's like, no, you're just going to come out, be a part of the thing, that kind of thing. So be a part of the party, be a part of the ambiance, be a part of the atmosphere. So she goes over there. She's at this party. Clearly, you saw the Snapchat video where she's like, yo, this, it says in the caption on the video, that this party's lit, right? That Diddy's party's lit, or Diddy's house is lit, whatever it may be. Okay. And then of course she's now starting going into more details about everything else, right? About going into this party and all that. I will slow it down just for a spell, but then I'm going to have to speed it back up again. All right, guys, just to please some of you guys. All right. But please do me a favor while you are watching this, hit that like button down below, please. And thank you. Let's see where we're at right now. Because let's get into 600 likes. Okay. 600 likes real quick. All right. Hit that like button down below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Subscribe, please. And thank you. All right. We're trying to get to 150. We're trying to get to that 150. We are almost at 150. Very close to 150. So hit that subscribe button. Okay. And of course, check out the membership down below and all that stuff. Okay. But let's continue on. Again, she's talking about going into this party. She's talking about being in this party and walking in, right? Yeah, I don't know. I always wonder about, because I've seen a couple of episodes from Soft White Underbelly, and I've always wondered about the clothing. You know what I mean? I've always wondered. I've always wondered about the clothing that they choose to wear. I don't know. I guess skin to win, but still, some of these people are not of age, if you get what I'm saying, and they should not be dressed in certain ways. I'll like I said, I'll explain here in a little bit. It's disturbing to me. If I was any of these kids' parents and they were dressed in this, we would have words. I don't care if you're a grown woman and you still my kid, we still gonna have conversations. What was that? You know what I'm saying? Why you wearing that, girl? What's up with that? We would have words. I don't care. I don't care if you've been grown and have multiple babies. I don't care. We're having words. The hell is wrong? What you wearing? You know what I mean? I'd be it's not good. It's not good. And her daughter is in this recent interview, and she's basically in a bikini top. And she's not, you know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? It's not, I don't like that stuff. Could have done the same interview with a t-shirt on. You see what I'm saying? Same interview, t-shirt on. So it's just interesting. But I'm putting it back to regular speed so everyone can chill out, all right, for a little bit. Let's hear what she got to say.
Basically, so we arrived, security guard patted us down. They put our phone in this little bubble case. So the bubble case is closed. They can't get unlocked until we walk out. So as we're in there, the only way of us taking any type of pictures is if we get in the photo booth. He has like a Team Love photo booth or whatever. Take like 4 pictures. So I, got pictures. I still got everything in my Snap too, like of the photos, everything. That's all you could get. So I'm walking around or whatever. So one of his sons, I'm not going to tell you which one, but it was like recruiting like whoever they wanted to go inside the house, because the freak off is inside the house and in the backyard.
So now she says that the son, one of the sons, was involved in recruiting certain women. You're going to hear it in a second, where he basically says like, hey, hey, you look good, or, I know somebody who will like you. Here's some house shoes. Take these house shoes and come on in. If you get handed these house shoes, then you can actually go inside. You get access to be inside the house where craziness and all this other stuff ensues.
So you have the pool and they're playing loud house music. Like, Mark, the house music, it makes you feel kind of woozy, first of all, because it's like a rave or something. Dun, 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 and it's real loud. So you can't really see nothing, but you're seeing everybody like walking around, drunk, hopping around. It's still 7 a.m. So the sun is like coming up and people are walking around naked, period. Let's get into it. They're walking around naked already. And they're in the pool, skinny dipping. And they're drinking mimosas in the pool, but then it's like a waitress walking around giving people drinks, just passing people drinks,
Again.
And people are just taking them.
This is early in the morning. So everybody's been going crazy all night. And so this is going all into the wee hours of the morning. Remember what we just heard in that article. Some of this stuff was going on at 7 o'clock. This stuff was going on at 7 o'clock in the doggone morning. So people are already lit all night. Just binge drinking and binge God knows what else they were consuming. And they're just going to town. You got to remember, these people don't really have to worry about, how their bills are going to get paid. They don't have to worry about going to work the next day. Unless they're working on some big project that, requires them to be in Iceland for 3 months. But other than that, they don't have to worry about anything. They can sleep all day, drink all night, drink all day too, kick it, do a whole 3 weeks of just debauchery if they wanted to. They don't have to worry about nothing until that project they have to get ready for. Some of these, no, guys, I'm off the alcohol. I'm trying to get ready for the new Marvel movie. I'm trying to get swole. Right? I'm only allowed to eat salmon every 7 hours for the next 3 months. We hear all about that. They don't have to worry about a damn thing. They go from project to project to project. So some of these people could just party 3 days straight without even thinking twice. Crazy, right?
Me, I don't drink like that, but I'm like an occasional drinker. Like I'll drink if we're partying or whatever, just for that occasion. So, because people are going to keep saying, drink, drink, drink. But I didn't take a drink yet. But I just had it in my hand. So one of the sons seen me walking. Mind you, I'm with other girls, but we split up. So I was walking with one girl. She's a Puerto Rican girl. So P. Diddy's son was like, you. And I'm like, me or her? And then he was like, no, you. Come here. So I went to him and he gave me some shoes. So these shoes was like
house
some
shoes.
terry cloth, like robe shoes, white shoes. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do with these? He was like, go in the house with these. He was like, everybody who gets these shoes, you get to go in the house. But I'm thinking you could just go in the house if you want to, but everybody can't go in the house. They're literally selectively picking who they want. So I'm like, well, what about my friend? He was like, no, only you. I'm like, okay, cool.
So you cool, but you ain't. You can go in there, but nah, not your friend. You know what I mean? Nah, not your friend. Sorry, I have in the raw just said, and asparagus. Yeah. It's like I'm only allowed to eat nothing but salmon and asparagus for 3 months. And then, HGH all day long. TRT. Muscle milks. But other than that, they're all kicking it. So imagine being at this party, walking in, your phone is taken, locked up in a case, can't get access to that phone anymore. They're already passing out drinks. Everyone's already half-cocked. Everyone's properly zooted. And then suddenly out of nowhere, as you're just taking everything in because the debauchery has already been happening for several hours already, Diddy's son walks up and says, oh, you're cute. Here's some shoes. This allows you to go inside. So go on inside. Go on inside. And it's like, okay. Hey, girl, come on with me. No. You're allowed to. She's not. Interesting, right? Let's continue on.
I'm holding the shoes. I'm walking around. I'm a good loyal friend. I'm not going to go inside a house where they say my friend can't go. So we just walking around mingling. But we tripping out.
She has a heart of gold. I like that. Good on you.
Looking at everybody like they off everything smoking and jumping around like hooligans. And so I seen P. Diddy or whatever, and I seen him with the Prince. I'm not going to say what he was doing, but something really, I get real nervous. Something real crazy because I don't like to really expose people. I could talk about me, but when it's about like me, my family, because it's us. But when it's other people, bro, doing something real sexual, that's all I'm going to say. So that we can see and so that we can get turned on, okay? So he's doing something with himself. And I'm like, girl, do you see him? She's like, yes. But mind you, we're screaming like, girl, do you see him? Oh my God. Because of the music. And I'm just like, whatever. Then he starts to act like really obnoxious, like, I'm the king of the world, jumping around, doing all this stuff. So I'm like, okay, that's regular P. Diddy shit.
That's funny that he's sitting there saying, I'm the king of the world. Get it? Does anybody else get it? I'm the king of the world. You know what I mean? Don't let go, Jack. No one. So he's feeling it. He's having a great time. Kicking it. Doing something nasty. Because he thinks it's going to turn people on. I don't know how that's going to turn people. I don't know. But apparently he's doing some stuff with somebody else. With another man's trying to turn people in. Why in the raw got to be? Why in the raw, man? Why do you have to? Why did you have to? I don't want to go there. You know what I mean? Why did you have to? Why did you have to go there? Loosening up. Raw hard-boiled eggs. That's all I gotta say. Raw hard-boiled eggs. Okay. No, I'm not. I'm not too innocent for this. I can. Well, that sounds weird too. That sounds weird. I can't answer any of these things. Moving on. I can't answer any of these things. We're moving on. But that's weird. He's like, yeah, you know what I mean? We gonna do some things. All right. We gonna be licking lollipops in front of everybody. It's gonna get everybody aroused, baby. Like that's just wrong, man. That's wrong. Okay. And Jaxie, if you eating sausages right now with your breakfast, you might want to pause. You might want to pause for a minute, all right? Licking lollipops. Oh, that's so gross.
But what got me was how he walked up to me and was like, why are you not in the house? And I'm like, What do you mean? He like, how are you enjoying my house? So we had a little talk or whatever. He started talking about all these things. Oh yeah, you're the one that, I seen was telling me about the prince. He's like, oh yeah, it's very nice to meet you. Like your life is not going to be the same. Da 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 da. We started talking about going to Cuba. Are you going to Cuba with us? I'm like, what? And that's the thing. I didn't really know about this. So this is when I start asking around or whatever. And I said that in the last interview. But to get to the point, I ended up going in the house because he was on me, like, go in that house. I'm like, okay. Then the person that he was dating at that time, we're not going to say her name, but we all know, she came and was like looking at him like, what are you doing? Because he was talking to me for too long. So she came to like rub on his shoulders or whatever. And he just pushed her. And I'm looking like real uncomfortable, like, oh, I know what this is about. I don't want to be in the middle of there, whatever. So that's what made me go into the house because I'm like, okay, let me just go in the house. So I told my friend, like, wait right here, girl. Let me just put on these shoes, see what this house is about.
Okay. Hold on. And then that look says everything. So we about to shift gears here in a second. As you see that? You see that girl. But let me just say something real quick. So the girlfriend that comes up to him and is like touching his shoulder, like, what's up? Young Miami, maybe? Okay. Young Miami, maybe? And also, I want to say this. Alexis just said, and I also said, she's got a heart of gold, right? But let me just say something really quick. If you go to a party that you don't know anybody, but you're with this other girl, you've been moved around from LA to Miami, you're being told that you're going to go to Cuba, you might start the buddy system really fast. You might have somebody that you're going, okay, I'm with Tina. I'm going to be riding with Tina. So she and I, we got each other. We're going to keep an eye on each other, make sure nothing crazy happens, make sure none of us disappears. So there's instantly a buddy system. I feel like that's what's happening here. That's the reason why she's like, well, I didn't want to leave my friend. So I just walked around with my friend for a little bit. And I think that's more of a safety precaution because you're in a place with a bunch of people who are lit that you don't even know who anybody is except for yourself and maybe the person that you just met whilst traveling with this person to meet with a Saudi prince. So maybe unbeknownst to them, they instantly became unspoken buddies, partners during this trip. That just by random, they just said, you know what? You know what I mean? In the back of their minds, they're like, nah, Tina, I'm watching you watching me, I'm watching you. Now I'm not leaving you. I'm gonna, whatever we do, if we drinking together. We walking over here, we walking over here. We talk with Diddy, we talking to Diddy. But we're doing it together. Or at least we're gonna keep a good close eye on each other, keeping tabs. So I think that's what really is happening here. I don't think it's she's got a heart of gold. No, I don't think that. I think it's more of a survival thing. Something that should have happened with Riley Strain, just to be completely real. But guys don't really do that. Real talk. Fellas don't do that at all. It's unfortunate. Let's continue on.
Walk up in there.
There we go. Shift gears.
I don't judge people because at the time I was just smoking weed. But when people are out of their mind and when people, what you don't want to be a part of. And it's just like I'm seeing stuff that you see on the movies. This corner, this got going on. This corner, they over here doing this. This corner, they over there having sex. This corner, I'm just going to say, because I don't know what I can say because I'm not trying to be incriminating myself, but they were dressed up like little Harajuku Barbies.
Like what?
Little people, okay? We're not going to say what type of little people, but like a fetish.
All over again. Now we're hearing this again. Yes, some eyes wide shut sounding like in the background. And if you know what I'm talking about, as soon as Tom Cruise says with the mask, he says, Fidelio, all of a sudden And everyone's bumping uglies. Seriously. I'm serious. Just go see the movie for yourself. Okay? Stanley Kubrick knew some things. That's all I'm saying. He knew some things. They had people, man, all I'm saying, man. But now she sits there and says this again. Like I said, this happened a few months ago or a little bit ago. She had this interview, and now she's talking about Harajuku Barbies again. But now she's saying these are littles again.
And I'm looking like, what are they doing here? Like dressed up, little red lipstick, like they weren't supposed to be there. But I'm just looking like maybe it's some type of production going on. But why would they be at this party at 7 o'clock in the morning with grown people? Like why would they be here? So I was just like, okay, whatever. Like, but then when I'm looking in this corner, this person laid out, and I'm looking like, what's going on? Then I'm seeing like Instagram models or whatever. I'm like, oh, hey. So I'm kind of getting distracted, feeling like kind of comfortable. Like, she's here. Oh my gosh, she's here. And then I see P. Diddy, walking through the house, like with his eyes on me. Like, like, is this, you see, like, are you agreeing with this? And I don't. Now, mind you, I still got my friend out there. So I walked out of the house and I'm telling her, like, oh my God, bitch. Like, this is, oh my God, she like for real? But I'm just like, I'm not even tripping. Like, oh, well, like, this nigga's weird. Like, so I'm really looking at the situation like, I don't even want to be involved in this type of stuff, because once I see something, I can't get it out of my mind. And I'm like a hypochondriac. Like, I keep on having flashbacks about it. So whatever. So of course I come out, and then here he goes again. And another rapper, well-known rapper, comes and starts feeling on me like, hey, you. So now it just seems like everybody is faded at this point. They're either drunk or on all the drugs, obviously, with this house music. So now I just feel like trapped in. Like, I don't like it. And I know the devil when I see it.
Uh-oh. There we go. Now, again, they're in there. She goes in there. She sees some people that are dressed in some type of way that are littles. She literally says it right there again. I mean, so this is the first time she says it. She said it later, which is what we just saw recently in a show for TMZ. But there you go. She's sitting there saying, yeah, I saw some things that I don't think I wanted to see. I was not cool with it. Then all of a sudden, you had people coming in. Here they go again, trying to get it on, right? And she's like, I'm not feeling comfortable with this, because as soon as I walked in this room, it was literally eyes wide shut. Eyes wide shut. And now they're trying to come at me, right? They're trying to get to me and put their hands on me and all that. And again, she says, yes, littles. And she was worried about it, like incriminating herself and all that. But that's crazy. To walk into a room, you get these shoes, you're like, oh, all right, I got some house slippers. All right. What are we going to do? We're going to put these on. We're going to walk inside and, oh my God. What is that a little? What's going on? That's literally what happened. With all this. In the background. Okay, there's even a high part too. Ha! In the background. Okay. Oh my God. Scary stuff, right? We got more. We're going to continue. But hamburger.
Because by me being so spiritual and tapped in, I know when something is not right. I'm not judging, but I just don't want to be a part of it, because how am I going to get out of this shit? Like, I'm already here. And then I heard conversations or whatever. And then P. Diddy was like, that's the one that I want. I want her. So now I feel like, they plotting on me. Like, did you
Giggity goo.
bring me here on purpose? Like, is this the, producer you was talking about? And I came here specifically with the Prince to rub elbows with people, to network for the music week. But then I put two and two together, like, the Prince have been saying your life is never going to be the same. you're going to be happy. Somebody's expecting you. And I just feel like that was the time that I was going to get sex trafficked or, drugged or something like that. And then they kept trying to make me like, I've been around celebrities before. If a rapper wants you or somebody wants you, they're not going to do it. They're going to send somebody else to do it. So if a waitress is coming or another girl or a pretty girl or a guy, they'll sick somebody on you. Like, take this drink, do this, do that. And then you just feel eyes on you, like watching to see if you're going to do it, when you're going to do it.
That's some scary stuff if you really think about it. Stiff. That's some scary stuff if you really think about it. Think about being in that kind of world. You're going in there. Okay, let's be real. You're obviously there for a specific reason. She was there for a reason. It wasn't like she was just there for business reasons. She was there for pleasure, for sure. And she knew that. She was there at least for that Saudi prince's pleasure. But nonetheless, she was there for that. She goes in there. She's at this party. And then all of a sudden, it's like, oh yeah, that's the one I want. But in the beginning, it's not like it's verbally said. It's just a vibe that you get. Then all of a sudden it's like, hey, drink this, smoke that, put on these shoes, get into here, so on and so forth. And luckily for her, she was smart enough not to do anything crazy or not to consume a copious amount of stuff because she got out. Nothing bad happened to her. I mean, there's images in her brain, in her mind now that are forever burned in her mind, allegedly, that I'm sure she would love to get rid of now. There's things that she can't unsee now. But nonetheless, it's scary to think that she walked in there and then all of a sudden it was like all eyes on her, Tupac. Crazy. And very disturbing if you really think about it too. Because I mean, well, obviously it's disturbing. Because I mean, everyone's just sitting there going, is she going to drink that drink? Hold on. Is she going to drink that drink? Shh. Yes, she drank that drink. Okay, cool. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. But so far, what are you thinking? You feeling this story? Do you think that she's not telling the truth? The other part too, though, and I think I said this on the other video on my second channel, because I talked about this video 3 whole weeks ago. 3 whole doggone weeks ago. But please go and check that out on my secondary channel, the Pascal Show clips. But one of the things I do wonder, and I said it, if I remember correctly, I did say this on the show, on that video. If this actually is true, and she got out by the skin of her teeth, why didn't she call 911? If she saw things. If she actually saw those things and she was sober, yeah, she might have, smoked a little trees or whatever, but she saw some things. And so instantly I go, why wasn't there a 911 call made? It could have been anonymous, just saying, hey, I saw a bunch of littles in this place and there's people out here bumping uglies right in the same room with these little kids. Like, I would have done, I don't know, I would have done at least an anonymous call if I could. But we don't hear anything about a 911 call made. We don't hear anything about we don't hear about any police reports being filed or anything of that sort. But then, of course, I get it. Cicada just said she may have been afraid for her life. True, she could have been. But then I'm like, well, she could have just made an anonymous call. She could have. I don't know. But let's continue on. I'm going to speed this up a little bit, okay, guys? Sorry. Not sorry, actually. But we're going to speed this up.
So I already know what time it was. And it's crazy because I had to leave that place. In my last interview, I told you I had to escape. I had to leave from the prince because he was telling me we was leaving for Cuba the next day.
So she had to escape from the Saudi prince because he was sitting there saying, tomorrow we're going to Cuba. Cuba, sorry. Interesting, right?
Cuba with who? With P. Diddy or what? Like, this is all crazy. So to see all of this stuff come out, And I escaped by leaving. I had to call the police and everything. I had to leave with the prince. That's another story. From the prince, from that house. I didn't leave with the other girls. I had to get my phone unlocked, of course. But like I had to like catch a taxi, not even an Uber, a taxi to another location. And then I ended up going to the airport and I ended up leaving because I just felt bamboozled. First, I'm getting lied to about how long I'm supposed to stay there. Then you keep talking about I'm supposed to meet this producer, but we're not talking about nothing with music, but you're talking about going to Cuba. We didn't even do what we were supposed to do in Miami. Or did we do what we were supposed to do in Miami at this freak off? But
I mean, clearly they did. I'm going to roll that back so you guys can hear that because at normal speed, because that was super fast, and she's talking with a lot of passion. But still, they did go out there to do exactly. She was ST'd. She said that. So obviously she was moved out there for a specific reason, not for her musical talents. No disrespect, but she wasn't out there for her musical talents. She was out there because she was hired to do a job. She knew exactly what she was getting into when she flew out to meet with the Saudi prince. Now, as far as them going to Diddy's party or going to Cuba the next day, sure, that's unbeknownst to her. That is a surprise. But being moved from LA to Miami to be a part of the Saudi prince's entourage, yeah, that was what she was there for. You know what I'm saying? I rolled that back for the in regular speed. Let's take a listen to this. And you know what? I'm going to put up a poll here. I'm going to let this ride for a second. I'm going to put up a poll. It has to do with Ali Carter. So hold on.
because he was telling me we was leaving for Cuba the next day. Cuba with who? With P. Diddy or what? Like this is all crazy. So to see all of this stuff come out, and I escaped by leaving. I had to call the police and everything. I had to leave with the prince. That's another story. From the prince, from that house. I didn't leave with the other girls. I had to get my phone unlocked, of course. But like I had to like catch a taxi, not even an Uber, a taxi to another location. And then I ended up going to the airport and I ended up leaving because I just felt bamboozled. First, I'm getting lied to about how long I'm supposed to stay there. Then you keep talking about I'm supposed to meet this producer, but we're not talking about nothing with music, but you're talking about going to Cuba. We didn't even do what we were supposed to do in Miami. Or did we do what we were supposed to do in Miami at this freak off? But because I'm not cooperating with what I see, and I feel like that's what the Illuminati and stuff is about, like a secret society. Like they want to see what you allow, what you cool with, and then next thing you know, boom, take that drink, you're drugged. Take that, you're out of it.
Mhm.
Take that pill, because everybody was off something, but you had to be being in that environment like that.
How many people were at this event?
Like hundreds. Even when it was a certain amount outside, but in the house was really crowded. You know what I'm saying? And you would think that like it was more people in the house.
And you walked around?
Yeah, I walked around for about 5 minutes. I seen what I need to see.
Interesting. So 5 minutes in, isn't that crazy? You know what I'm saying? It's like, you walk in, you're going, man, this is a Diddy party. It's 5 minutes later. Oh my God, that's a Diddy party. Oh my God. Oh my God. Like that's just scary to think. She walked in there 5 minutes later. She goes, I already know the program. I'm out. Deuces. The hard peace sign. Just, I'm out. Do you realize that's serious? Okay. Miss Rob, this is the interview. This is the interview, sweetheart. That happened last month. Yeah. Just so you know. Yeah, and I'm not slow. I may come off like I'm slow, but I'm not slow. God bless you. Good night. Moving on, though. That's crazy. She got in there. She walked in. She goes, up. You know what I mean? My God, a Diddy pop. Out. Just like that. Just like that. Let's continue on.
And I was like, no, ma'am. No, sir. Because It was like selling your soul at that house. And if you like that, it's nothing to you. But if you're not like that, you're going to feel uncomfortable. And then it's like, at first I used to think P. Diddy was like, so he always talk about team love and all of this stuff. Like he's all about, no, he all about sex, himself. And I know sex because I've dealt with men, Mark. So I know when somebody is trying to lead you on to stuff and sitting back acting like he just this macho man. And he is a charmer though. That's one thing. Like he will charm the fuck out of you. But for me, that's so game tight. I'm like, I know what this is. And I'm ready to get to the music. Like, if that's the case, you should have been like, don't tell me you about to change my life and da-da-da. And, oh, have you been writing? Oh, that's nothing too. He was like, have you been writing the songs that I seen been telling you to write? Because the Prince wanted me to write out all the songs I ever made in my life. I said, without the beat? He's like, yeah, just start writing songs. So you never know. They'll take my music, drug me, fuck me, do whatever, and just throw me away,
I mean,
basically. Or after you have something on me, when we do the music, you have that on me that this happened, and now I'm blackmailed or some shit like that.
I mean, listen, I don't blame her for being quick on her feet with everything. But and unfortunately, there's a lot of other people that are victims because they weren't so, maybe they just didn't get or see their surroundings in the way that they saw it because they were handed something and unbeknownst to them, they drank it. There's not a lot of people out here that have it's at least in LA. I mean, everyone drinks, right? Everyone kicks it unless you're a California sober, or if you are 100% sober. It's very few and far between with that kind of situation. You'll hear a lot of California sober than you'll hear somebody being completely 110% sober. But at the same time, it's not every day that you have somebody who's like, nah, I'm gonna sip on this drink, or I'm not even gonna drink. Maybe I'll smoke a little of this tree, but that's it. I'm not doing anything more than that. So you can pass that drink off to somebody else because I ain't doing that. Now, she got lucky with that, to be really honest. Also, the other thing is I didn't hear anything about her signing any type of NDA. I don't remember hearing her talk about signing any paperwork. I think that's also something that's a big deal too, because if this was something that happened within the last couple of years or so, I think that's interesting that she didn't sign an NDA, or at least it's not mentioned in here. But again, still, you have somebody who is being who is alleging to have been at these parties, or to be at this party and seeing littles, seeing certain elements that not everybody else has seen. It's pretty wild stuff. Now, I know some of you guys may not believe her. There are some people like, Nicole B just said this too, and I get it too. I'm upset she didn't call for the kids' sake. I agree. If she really did see littles and nothing was done about that, I instantly wonder why not. It could have just been a quick phone call. Could have been anonymous. Just make the phone call. But the phone call was not made. So I could see why some people would definitely feel some type of way about that. And I get it. Some people will sit there and say, I was scared. I was nervous. I don't know. Diddy's a very powerful man. He has many connections. I could be blacklisted even before I even get a chance to get into the industry. Because, for a fact, she was trying to get into the industry at least. I'm sure she was a pro, right? She was an S worker, but I'm sure she didn't want to do a life of being an S worker be a S worker for the rest of her life. But I keep wondering, why not a phone call? But that's just me. That's just my thoughts on that. Now, as far as everything that she says here, her story has not changed. Hasn't gotten crazier or even more wild. It has stayed fairly consistent, her details. And you also got to remember too, there are going to be a lot of people that are going to go in there. There are going to be a lot of people that did dodge a bullet as far as, you know, being made to drink something, or maybe they walk into a room, same story. They walk into a room, they go, oh, damn. So this is what happens when you get the house shoes. Oh my, nope, I'm not. This is very uncomfortable. I'm out of here. This is there's way too much performance going on here. And I didn't carb up today, so I'm going to go. I'm sure there's a lot of people that did that too, but just haven't spoken out, just haven't stepped forward and said their story. I'm sure. She cannot be the only person that got out by the skin of her teeth. She was able to leave. There was nobody holding her back. There was nobody, it seems like there really wasn't anybody really like forcing her to do anything. She was lucky, man. But she can't be the only lucky one. So to think, if this isn't entirely true, think about the amount of other people that have gotten out of this situation by luck. If you got 140 something people stepping forward and accusing Diddy and others of doing some unthinkable things, how many other people got away and got out of the situation by the skin of their teeth? Countless, I'm sure. You know, you also got to remember too, in this situation, it could have been the whole slowest deer theory. If you get what I'm saying, where it's like, all right, you know, some are going to take off. We can't run after everybody. So if they want to leave, they leave. But the ones that stay, they stay. And that could be because of them consuming too much, them being plied with something in their drinks that slow them down, and all that stuff too. Also, those that get targeted but don't know that they're being targeted. And then they're sipping that drink or whatever, and then all of a sudden, boom, they're passed out, or they suddenly wake up and they're in a room filled with people, and they're like, why am I even in here? It's a scary thought. It's a scary thought, but it could definitely happen. Let me get this. Oh yeah, wow, that's a long time. Wow, Nikki. Wow, I think you're one of the longest members. I think you're one of the members that's been supporting the channel for the longest. I appreciate you. Thank you so very much. I appreciate the support. Thank you. I approve that message. Yes, please, guys. A very satisfied member of the family. Please hit that join button. That's proof positive of consistent, high quality content right here on this channel. So please do yourself a favor and hit that join button down below and become a member. But what say you guys on this? I mean, are you thinking that this is, the real deal? Holyfield, Tina, thank you so much for the love. I really do appreciate the super sticker. Do you really think that she's telling the truth? Just bringing back that article right quick, where we just saw all that, but what she says in this article, and then of course, and now it's being a part of a TMZ series, part of their Diddler series, right? Do you think she's telling the truth, or do you think that this is another one of those two truths and a lie type situations, where it's mostly the truth, but maybe some fabrications there, maybe some embellishments and all that? What are your thoughts? I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I feel like what she's saying is fairly, I don't know. It has not changed. We just saw a video where she talked about it, at least the start of it, years ago. Then she did another one about a month ago that we just watched. And her story hasn't changed. Then we see it again with this interview on TMZ. The story did not falter or change, not one bit. The only thing that she's promoting now is that she is a singer-songwriter, which, sure, I get it. She's a singer-songwriter first before she was ever a pro or an S worker, but at the same time, she's an S worker. That's why she was in there, for the S work. I'm sorry, but that's what it was. That's why she was with the Saudi prince, not because she has a voice of an angel, with all due respect. So it's very interesting. Very, very interesting stuff, guys. And I feel like sorry. So I think it's a two truths and a lie type situation. I think that there is some embellishing in there. Is she lying about the littles? I don't know. I really don't know. But the one thing that really holds me up, the one thing that really ties me up with this whole situation is the fact that she says that she saw that and then nothing was done. Now, maybe her mindset at that time was different. Maybe it was kind of like, I just need to get the hell out of here. And she didn't even think about it maybe at that time. That's a possibility. But there's something that's just still eating away at me that is like, man, if I saw something like, man, if I was in a room, listen, guys, if I was in a room and all kinds of paraphernalia, everybody's doing the hibbity dibbity, you got music blasting, just people in their birthday suits, just things out, wagging around and all that stuff. And then in the same doggone room, you see littles in that room too. And you're the only sober one, even-minded person. I'm sorry, we having words. We having words. If that's words with the party, the host of the party, or it's words with 911. Either one. That's just me. You going in that room, everyone's doing the sideways samba, and babies are running around here. That's crazy. Okay? That's crazy. Debbie, okay, we need to know your birthday to have a special stream for it. Absolutely. We could definitely do that when the time comes, for sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. We could talk about that for sure. It's not anytime soon. That's for sure. But we could definitely talk about that. For sure. But yeah, guys, I mean, some I don't know. It just bothers me, y'all. It just bothers me. But again, it could be nothing. But then at the same time, it could be everything. Because in my mind, I'm like, that you could have saved a kid or two or all of them just by making that phone call. As soon as you got out, as soon as you got the phone in your hands, boop, 911. I think you can even send text messages, 911 text messages. You can even do that if it was a situation. But just something like that just eats away at me. And I wonder if TMZ I'm done. But I'm also wondering if TMZ asked that question, because that would be a damn good question. Did you call anybody after? Did you make any reports? And if you didn't, why didn't you? Answer that question. She has kids, by the way. 5 of them. So that's just kind of how I feel about it. Beautiful Messy Ball, thank you so much. Another channel has been covering her and her I guess her daughter long before the Diddy stuff broke. Don't know if I can say that. Yeah, we already talked about the soft white underbelly. Yeah, we've already talked about that for the whole show. You might be late to the party, but it's all good. But we have talked about that at great lengths, for sure. And that's of course where I got that interview from Soft White Underbelly. And definitely, guys, go check out the whole thing. See the full interview. I definitely recommend it. He has some very interesting interviews with some very interesting people. Do I agree with everything? Like some of the things that is depicted on camera, I don't agree with it all. I don't. There's just certain things, like I was saying earlier. You got a little dressed in a way that no little should be dressed as, in my personal opinion. Not at that age. And that happens to be Tanea's daughter. And she's not of age. So I have a problem with that. That kind of stuff I don't like. You know what I mean? Because in my mind, I'm like, okay, yeah, I get it that she is. That's also wild too, that this little one is also an S worker too. But she's dressed in a way, and I'm like, man. Eesh. Okay. And that's crazy. Oh, that's what's up. Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. Thank you, beautiful Messy Ball. But at the same time, you know, that's the thing. It's just very interesting what's being said or what's being shown. And it's not only just Nova's, Tanea's daughter's name, or at least her name is Nova on the Soft White Underbelly's channel. There's just, like I said, certain things that are being shown that I'm like, I'm not okay with that. I'm just not. And so that's all, but people, like I said, some people are out here that just really love the channel. And I'm not sitting here saying I'm not sitting here saying that it's a bad channel. Not at all. All I'm saying is that, yeah, beautiful Messy Ball, you don't need to DM me any videos. I already know about all of it. Trust me. This is the reason why I'm talking about it. I know about all the controversy surrounding Soft White Underbelly. But I do think that there is some things that he is bringing to the table that I think that needs to be brought out there. He is showing some serious, crazy stuff that I think that there needs to be a place where we can expose and bring that to light so that people know what's going on. But there's another part of me that's like, can we just throw some clothes on these people? Some of these people they can say the same stories wearing t-shirt and jeans. Same doggone stories. We'll get it. We'll hear what they got to say. We don't need to see it, but that's just me. That's just me. I think what they're talking about is necessary. But then also at the same time, I wonder if there is any extension, any handout to try and help that particular person, like Tanea's daughter, right? She's young. Like I said, she's little. Is there a way that they can help her get out of the game, get out of that situation so that she can go back to school, get an education, and maybe turn her life around to something more positive instead of her being out there in the streets? Those kind of things I get concerned about as well. And then you also, when you hear about these littles dressed up in certain ways at these parties, it's like, oh my Lord, all of those kids either end up missing or they end up gone. And you get what I'm saying, unalived, because of how they're being treated, how they're being used in a monstrous way. So it does, it aggravates me. It does. And all I can sit here and say is I hope that something changes for the better here soon. And this is the reason why I also say, like I was saying earlier, where's the other arrests? Why aren't we seeing other people arrested right now? Let's keep it real. Where are the other arrests? Because if it really is true that you got Harajuku Barbies walking around, you get what I'm saying? Walking around that shouldn't be walking around. Who provided that? Who provided that? Like I did a video, and this is also important, and I because I just put it on the poll because I asked about Ali Carter, right? And so I'm gonna let's get it 350 votes. But this is exactly what I was talking about on the secondary channel, the Pascal Show clips, where I talked about one video from Ali Carter. And she talks about that. She's like, where are all the other people? Where are all the other people? What happened to the other arrests? Because there's more than just Diddy out here doing these things, at least being alleged of doing these things. We talked about this too. One of these other shows, one of the most recent shows, where I said, hey, there's got to be some sort of madam. There's got to be some sort of coordinator. There's got to be somebody who's out here who's putting this all together. You can't tell me that Diddy's the only person running around here and coordinating and casting all these people to be a part of these parties. There's no way. He's Diddy. He runs at that time, he was running a multi-billion-dollar media company. Where does he have time to sit around and recruit Cinnamon from Cincinnati and Coco from LA, Michael from Detroit? Like, where does he have time to go and find all those people to bring into one place so that they all can do a little carnal session together in front of other A-list celebrities and possibly involving them as well, getting involved in these group activities? He don't have time for that. He pays somebody else to do those things. Who could it be? Could it be his mama? I don't know. But somebody's out here coordinating all these things. And where are those arrests? Why are they not getting arrested? Why are they not? It just doesn't make any doggone sense to me. So let me end this poll here. 360 polls, 360 votes. Okay, sorry. 81% of y'all would like me to do a show specifically on Ali Carter. Okay, that's going to happen. As you wish, that's going to actually happen. But again, I did a video on the secondary channel, the Pascal Show clips, where I talked about the first video that she has out here, where she talks about all this stuff, being moved around, being moved through tunnels, all that stuff. It is insane. I only did a snippet of it. I didn't do the whole 30-minute video because it's a long video that she did, but we will watch it as a family for sure, because there's a lot of content. There's a lot of conversations that we need to have. And a lot of it, by the way, I'm going to be covering on the secondary channel, because some of them, don't need to be super long, hour-long shows or anything of that sort, right? So you guys will get those shorter versions over there for sure. Okay. So definitely make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you're subscribed to the secondary channel, please. And thank you. The Pascal Show clips. But again, if any of this is true, and I wish one person, at least one person, would step forward and say, I was there. I saw those things. Yes, there were littles there. And I called the police. That's it. I made a report. Here's the proof of this report, because this was wrong. I need to see the Carfax for that too. because it's very frustrating. Then also on top of that, I mean, there's another thing too. Hold on, I got another one too. This has to do with a little Jay-Z, little Hove, but apparently another girl by the name of Kathy White. Like I said, I've been doing some research, y'all. If you knew what was in this book right now, holy cow! There's a lot in this book right now that I've been doing a lot in this book. And so there are some questions about Hove that I am kind of curious about as well. But like I said, I got a lot. There's a lot that's going to be coming out here over this week. So get ready for it because it is absolutely insane, right? Kim just said, Pascal, I was approached to do S work while furthering my education. It's wild how people will approach others. Yeah, I've heard those stories too. Real talk. I've heard those stories too. I've had friends of mine just hanging out, chilling, walking down the street, walking out of class, say very tall, beautiful, model-esque type of friends, just walking down the street, people walking up to them being like, hey, yeah, we got this thing that's going on and we really like to have you be a part of it. And then sometimes they'll actually go to the thing only to find out that they're actually trying to recruit them as an escort. Literally. It's pretty insane. And it's the balls on some of these people. Just straight walk right up to them. You're gorgeous. Have you ever thought about doing some extra work? Yeah, no. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. But you get paid for it though, too. Take my card. Thank you. Real talk. That actually happens. A lot more than you think. A lot more than you think. It's terrifying, guys. But again, what say you guys? Do you believe her? Do you think she's fibbing? Do you think she's telling half-truths here? Do you think she really was in a room filled with people like it was eyes wide shut? Just everyone going to town. Animalistic, absolutely crazy stuff. Everyone just completely gone on God knows what chemicals or substances that they have in their bodies, and all their bodies sans clothing. What are your thoughts? Is it true or is it fake? Something to think about. Anyway, guys, that is the show. I appreciate all y'all for being here. It really means a lot. You guys are incredible. You guys are dope. Thank you so much for spending the time with me. I appreciate it. But before you head out, do me that solid. Do me that solid. Where the heck did the headphones go? Do me that solid. Hold on. Is she really on the run? Is Allie Carter on the run? Is she for real on the run? Is she? That's news to me. I didn't know that. If that's true, that's news to me. Vigilant. Interesting. Okay. I didn't know that she was on the run, but we will be doing a deep dive into her. We will be talking about it for show. All right. So get ready for it. Anyway, guys, that is the show. Thank you guys so much for coming in, being a part of the conversation. We got to bring some more awareness to a lot of these cases. And then, there's a lot of other things that we're going to be looking at. Oh my God. It doesn't stop. This train don't stop. It just don't stop, baby. So we got a lot to talk about very, very soon. So get ready because we got a crazy day today and a crazy week coming up. Make sure you hit that like button down below before you head out. Please and thank you. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit that reaction button if you're watching on other platforms. Please and thank you. Crush it. All right. Subscribe here to my main channel. Hit that join button down below. Subscribe to my secondary channel because I got some other videos coming to you guys today on the secondary channel. And there's other videos that are already over there that we have not discussed over here on the main channel yet. So make sure you subscribe to the secondary channel. Dag nabbit. Subscribe. Hit that join button down below. Please and thank you. Become a member. Check out patreon.com/The Pascal Show and locals.com/The Pascal Show. Don't forget to check out my merch page, pascalmerch.com. We got some really great stuff over there. And I got that GoFundMe. So go to that GoFundMe. It's linked to the top of the chat and it's in the description box down below. And support if you can. A little goes a long way, guys. So if you can, that'd be amazing. Anyway, guys, it is time to get going. Much love to you guys. Have a safe and wonderful rest of your day. But I'll be back on in a couple hours because we got things to discuss. We got many miles to go before we sleep. So let's get into it. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. We'll talk soon. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.